speak about the truth. And you always know when you really have a right to the truth because of the way the media attacks you.
Yeah, right.
And the way that I've seen the media, once I started getting interested in this and the media attacking me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm banned from Australia. I'm like, I've never committed a crime in my life.
Candace Owens.
You know, I feel like I have just a very regular story. Like I said, like I was born in New York, raised in Stanford. There was nothing, you know, particularly that stood out in my childhood that made me think that I was going to go into politics. I feel like I landed into politics accidentally. And I say accidentally because I thought I was a liberal my whole life. You know, I thought I was on the left my whole life and really didn't pay attention to politics in any meaningful way. And then, you know, when Trump was running for office, I didn't want him to be elected. I was like this, not because I thought he was a racist or a sexist, but just because I thought it was crazy to go from Obama, who had a certain decorum about him, to suddenly this sort of brash New Yorker. But I thought it was weird when all of a sudden the people that liked Trump, you know, everyone thought he was like this iconic symbol of business. He was in rap songs. Trump was a status, flipped on him in 1 second. I didn't buy the narrative that he was in the media for 3-4 decades, and suddenly you wanted me to believe overnight that he was like Adolf Hitler and a racist. So it's just like I'm on the ADL's list, and I'm going, okay, it's because I'm telling the truth. And when you start speaking real truth to power, of course, the mockingbirds don't like it.
No.
They are sent down to try to destroy. So intelligent that he was a part of the 2%, but now he's a wacko.
Yeah, but now he's a rogue wacko.
The only thing of Christ that Candace Owens has actually fulfilled comes from Matthew chapter 10, verse 35, where Jesus says, I've come to separate and create conflict between a woman and her mother-in-law and father-in-law.
Something incredibly demonic about a person trying to use the Bible at the beginning of a statement, as he did, trying to quote scripture and immediately following it up by trying to pull a family apart. I mean, that is utterly unholy. And here's what I would like to say to you, Rabbi, since you're quoting scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. And they take a cheesy little picture and it's like, oh, we love each other, even though like obviously they don't love each other at all, particularly in a circumstance like today. Well, Melania Trump has said no to tea. She has said, no, thank you. I will not be sitting down for tea with you. And I just love this because somebody in her camp spoke out to the New York Post. And this is the exact quotation that they gave them. They just said, she ain't going. She ain't going. A source familiar with Melania Trump told the Post. And I love this because why should she have to go? And these are the reasons that she listed. She listed it because her husband, as in Jill Biden's husband, Joe Biden himself, authorized, which he was allowed to do as the president, he authorized the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago, to go through her home and to snoop through her underwear drawer and humiliate them because they just wanted to get Trump. She lives there. Her son lives there. Raided by the FBI, a former president and first lady needing to be raided. I mean, it's an absolute nonsense. The Bidens are disgusting. Okay? Jill Biden is not someone Melania needs to meet, the source added. I mean, where is the gangster music? Seriously, I'm just glad that they're hearing me for the first time. Forgetting the Republican debates, and they're sitting here trying to make me cry for people in Ukraine. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Have you looked around America yet? Do you really think that this is what the people at home are going to respond to, perpetually telling them that they have to care about another nation more than their own backyards, that they should be caring more about what's happening in Ukraine, and Chris Christie trying to pitch it, and Pence trying to pitch it, and we need to be the police officers of the world when we can't even police her. We can do both. No, we obviously can't. Like, have you walked down the streets of Los Angeles? We clearly, obviously can't do both, right? And so having, I think, that the courage to stand on something that doesn't feel establishment popular or mainstream media popular, but that you understand is what people are actually feeling.
It's super interesting. And you weren't even controversial then compared to how you are now. So
I think I've always been controversial simply because I think for myself. That in and of itself is the most controversial thing I've realized that you could possibly do. And when you think for yourself and you're not controlled by a corporate entity, that just terrifies them. And so I became enemy number one.
Okay.
I don't support BLM because it pigeonholes Black people into groupthink. And
the entire BLM Incorporated accomplished
Absolutely nothing for Black people other than the destruction of Black neighborhoods, which I foresaw, and going to ultimately harm their lives. You get a record, you have a record. You don't just get to burn down Wendy's and go, well, this was in the name of George Floyd, and think that that's not going to impact the rest of your life.
So it's interesting because Amber Rose was sitting in this chair and I was speaking to her about this, and she was saying very much what you're speaking about, that she had all of the best intentions when she arrived into Hollywood, and then they kept telling her, you have to be this thing, like you have to keep selling the idea of being a slut to women, like this is what freedom is. And she didn't want to do that anymore. Like she didn't feel empowered by taking her clothes off, but they were telling her, the handlers, like, if you don't do that, you're not going to book, you're not going to get money, you're not going to book the covers of all of these magazines. And you can think about all of these stars that are kind of in that trap, like whether it's Cardi B. Now you're asking the right questions.
Embracing. I just wanted them to actually hear me. There was just so much added. I mean, where is the gangster music? Seriously.